Right, we be about the sports arena. Brasso say it's not enough. They are good. You must at a bro. Say leagues. I'm telling you, sir. A book off. A coming up. Say yeah, we are nessa. Bundesliga is done and dusted. French League One is done and dusted. Now the aka the Italian crunchy Serie A and Endra. I want to see. I'm telling you, the roller coaster. Now utimu say enyasem keto akra ye de munchire mu nyina be de be bro now relegation battle no emu ayedin papa saso na woko Spanish La Liga me no kase ade a league ni de Basaje na ogiwie a ne following match wo lose Villarreal ko share no Madrid eko Sevilla home eko ko share Sevilla 2-0 now the akane say Abrante your friend no Kylian Mbappe Lotin and so be hwe ni mu say obeje Pichichi no na European golden shoe no waje e de ata na ni ase na afi bibia so no etumi akoyem iberam na de sa games no etumi de abro na bibia etumi akoye na me no ka say the English Premier League ne de anyasem keto akra anyasem keto telling you okoko PM a say Nottingham Forest, Man City, Chelsea, Aston Villa. We are fighting for the 2 slaughter and our 3 slaughter there. Aka. Newcastle and Okudinchu. I dear Bema Newcastle be unqualified and say Everton Koko Sheno. Everton Eko Kosheno Ewoni Huma. Ena one here asem ebeto Bobo kwa ye friend no Newcastle because almost 66 Chelsea was 66 and Nottingham Forest no ewo 67 na Nottingham Forest issue ni say ni goal sem wo fam ni goal sem den wo fam inti ade be ma Newcastle to qualify ni say olusi na Chelsea ebi olusi by 3-0 na Chelsea ebo draw Chelsea ayeden a qualify because Newcastle was 66 points or 22 goals. Chelsea was 66 points or 20 goals. Aston Villa was 9 goals or 66. Man City was 65. And Nottingham Forest was 65. Man City was game ochna. On a bomb off. The airball. Wounded bomb off. Ball. And Man City also moved to me win this game no. And also menya draw. Menya draw. Be that third. But on we 66. No more pushes Chelsea. The Chelsea are 2-5. Now Aston Villa so be that 6. Nemum so omu win the omu 68 and no omu ba be da third wa no possibilities o ma qualify no was 3 year papa this Arsenal kokra Arsenal kokra 71 point on ti be rem na games na aka no ya de munche mu atimi dia ba relegation de omu nyina akọ omu nyina ekọ hono ma eno so eno this is transfers me no ka say there Liverpool Abrante aye friend no Jeremy Frimpong and Kilos Milos Keke Milos ono so yese omuni ne ye wia ne sa now yese Yokeres twen between Chelsea Arsenal and Man United wow bebo Champions League no wona Abrante ne be san de amount it is a Chelsea we need ya will put it himself and as a Chelsea put itself in a right position say obet me attract somebody that Yokeres Bobo kwa your friend Man United so je Europa now a Chelsea obet me Champions League until wait me Yokeres Arsenal the oma qualify to say Arsenal and then me no ka say from now till say next week beba and on Wednesday beba say either Man United a qualify for Champions League and any alternative Wednesday AB and say 6 Arsenal betimi assign Yokeres because normal qualify for Champions League into betimi and then akasa so man anya ne sa na Man United eji Europa na then Man United so aba join Arsenal so metimi convince Abrante no till say Chelsea so ekokoshe Nottingham Forest and as say unya draw na Villa win against Man United Old Trafford. Chelsea aiden a qualify ekobo Champions League. Say Chelsea lose be 1-0 now 2-0. Na Chelsea anyway or how many points? 66. Almost 66.
Yeah.
66. 80. Say Chelsea lose wa was Aston Villa solely lose. Ana.
Yes. And as a Chelsea elusu meaning say Nottingham Forest ebi be winning.
Yeah.
So no be 68. Meaning say obeko ababeda that is the 4th or 5th position available. Inti as a now no adia as a Chelsea and say on that day against Nottingham Forest even a draw in favor Chelsea depending on fixtures at Aston Villa and Newcastle bebo.
Okay, so the ideal situation is say Chelsea
elusu and obo.
Elusi.
Yes, but draw
at least draw no,
but
draw on your draw obeko 67. It means Aston Villa winning against United.
No day I say ufit koto obi insem phone decide amount which be very difficult.
Okay, so I understand now. But the Chelsea lose dia and it was Aston Villa lose. Ana
yes. In a Chelsea lose na Aston Villa lose meaning say Newcastle to lose. And say na be my Chelsea's chance.
Okay, so lose there. No.
Even draw cry 50-50 man Chelsea.
Okay, I see. And as I said, okay, all right. Come on, Man City so Man City so crowd 2 matches into no. Okay, I see. All right. Into join streaming show on live. Street is watching. For dynamics ni nyina ene transfers ni nyina yende en for Street is watching Facebook uko YouTuber MYBET.AFRICA TV MYBET.AFRICA TV and I join your Telegram account no o join your Telegram account now us ni nyina de bebro na games wo ho o china games so yeden bibia so be de be koye MYBET online radio ho itwa good din ho no ma yehwe se bibia be koye ane ukọ who scored omo League 1 team of the season aba goalkeeper friend Petrovic and that post mu Ashraf Hakimi ebo right back Juba ejina mo no usina kind ma oze ana Kera enso ebo edema Monaco Morera ebo ma Strasbourg Ryan Schick around FN Perrin ana Andre Santos Bakula omunyina ejejirem ana Dembele Greenwood Dembele Greenwood bibia so ekoye ewo honum side nti that is the way I eba na me no ka say unless Paris Saint-Germain win ni cup game no.
Yes.
I say Paris Saint-Germain win ni cup game and sana bebo Europe Strasbourg otimu nse omu lidia na we bet share omo o shene ate sa ana le ave ate share omo otimu nse inexperience no edi omu nya wa ba visa yenra Benedict yenra games nim na before then yenhwe MYBET education ni kakra quite very important yema manfo hu MYBET emfaso a omu nya fi MYBET so.
Okay, inti say ne Monday share ewa ha MYBET na so ya sini say show yi embraso enu nti epese ma oti ase say ope baby a betimi edi bet wo MYBET.AFRICA pe omno me the truly Ghanaian company a ma okwan ma otimi di bet na no ma san send o message say we discuss e wen ho inti kona kwa withdraw na abra beje enu pe na one company o Ghana here ma say opportunity no more market na udi bet ne kura wi a ni asan di bibia to say grand audit ni nyama bebre ba MYBET de udi ya omo se bra na befa osika enu nti ene ko www.mybet.africa na register e omo platform registration ni is simple just 3 steps phone number and first no maybe say the next thing your username wait me use nickname udin odi ahye ho next one password obo you send verification code no verify account na nei untimi nya match screen twa omo we virtual any casino games how betimi dia fiscal winning rate ni so ye pa 98% winning rate into any MYBET.AFRICA register now also take advantage of offers omo won na now also for fiscal ye di we last days of the season now answer na season ni be ko na wie no unso betimi nya kakra ato botom e dey atwen competitions a ebeba so no.
Okay, yenhwe weekend games no na fe we are be transfers no.
Yes, I think weekend we mama starting free the French League I course so ye nim say na senior na nyama kon na teams ni bebre mu performance wise no na so mutimi tutu nyama ye senior betimi abom homodin etimi wia the competitions so mutimi rem ti Paris Saint-Germain Marseille de no more qualify awie na afi ya ba begina Monaco e wo that last spot aka wo the Champions League and also Nice so no so betimi nya sa Champions League playoff na etimi rem no more one Europa sport and a Conference League and so Ocean League table na Strasbourg no here win e dey as our Conference League spot no and now the Champions League spot are now available but me lose that is 3-2 with the last minute penalty equitium Ocean senior game ne call I think inexperience play a lot because senior mutimi call ahead no be any say Strasbourg bet me win game ba nyama ntimi anko ye nei omufeta akwa kojina Paris Saint-Germain cup game obebo so timi win a mo kwan mo mutimi wia that is the Conference League sport and omo fans me gidi so many beje with the performance a team na danidi team an obi enim se nko ntimi mpo empre top 4 na top 8 and wetimi under 7th position a obetimi wia the Conference League wetimi wia the maiden European trophy mu na me no so no enyama betimi akoye with one or two investment e bia club no betimi ahwe say obetutu nyama ye na next season no players so mutimi tom emo mutimi bomb homodin etimi abom homodin yenhwe the German Bundesliga Dortmund one of the biggest surprise in European football after omu free the Champions League na position omu die in the league log 12 nti no be enim say kwan bia so no Dortmund so went me and the Champions League a bad day so be qualify for the Champions League but Dortmund called the remaining games no e win ni na just elusu baako nti enei say both teams are qualified from the Bundesliga on the last day Dortmund account into Bayern Leverkusen Frankfurt any Dortmund any team qualify for the Champions League Freiburg it may rem Europa competition and a Mainz 04 Johan Klopp any Thomas Tuchel former club almost it may rem or Conference League or Moche RB Leipzig for the first time in so many years or mean to qualify for European competition. I think their performance this season on and off they had a bad performance they do baby no more grinding or beg grinding results are last minute near babete MNA European competition being who met me room Tisiano they will just go into next season with that and no matter you do transfers no be di home come with some of their players who mu team and they meant me in Europe no quite be as so mu team tom if we team by Dortmund abaso trying to get into that Champions League spot next season omo say be meet me as coach any players being who mu team mo that Champions League ni betimi amom that morale say they should stay inti no so be one thing betimi abo mo Bundesliga Bayern Munich etimi share 4-0 no be enim say winning the Bundesliga they wouldn't take their last game serious but mutimi share 4-0 coach Efeni Xabi Alonso so etimi set a record in the last game of mutimi boy the Bundesliga not this season about 18 games we are 17 games were we on lose here. So this was a crucial game, man. Omutimi be ball 2-2 and they was set last minute. Team a friend of mine saying a goal or managing can no can say a record and they about 2 seasons we are on lose here. And has been one record I think a bad day so be betting me a break. Even the likes of Bayern Munich almost set a record winning the Bundesliga 6-7 times in a row record way or mubi intimate set a oja team who are calling to be one recorder a becan who are called mean this a bad day so be betting me a break this particular record. See a Spain I think almost ball games network so Atletico Asia Betis no behind him said that game a game acquiring beer so I said Atletico picky win because Betis any that the Conference League final on the 28th of May on the Chelsea bebo international squad on the buyer na squad ni mu F ye Parma Atletico akwan bia so next Atletico etimi born home odin etimi win ahead of team I friend Betis mutimi pick here 4-1 win Barcelona so ball home against Villarreal. It was a difficult game for team friend Villarreal especially with the position and all that was league log no So person ultimate born home modern next ultimate pick a win against Barcelona. On a day Barcelona with a win, a loss or a draw crown. Then your title race no here. Nay Barcelona this how win each team a friend Robertis. Robertis Villarreal and nay abuam. I didn't make us some of the chums that win I'm a Villarreal that qualify for the Champions League. Into nay Villarreal anybody ye pass or pick his win over Barcelona. Kylian Mbappe. And the record okuta ewo the La Liga mu ya de ba kwa no adin ye wa breaking record be available for a Real Madrid player in his first season. Ni say hwe goals a wa hwe this season wa hwe 29 wa twen Lewandowski mu with 4 goals. Inti say Lewandowski person o win that goal king boot na. Ese Barcelona last game ese Lewandowski timi hwe 5 goals. Kylian Mbappe so ntimi enhwe a goal. I think performance wise wa born home odin. Moving into a team like Real Madrid, the first 2-3 months, na nyama nko ye, no be him say untimi finding a fit, but trying to make sure so betimi share 29 goals in a season for La Liga. Waiting about home. The last time a Real Madrid player timi remu ya Benzema, and another Frenchman, and so waiting remu, and they only Lewandowski but I think golden boot in the Quine Biaso no, obetimi ajia the likes of Atletico Bilbao munsu etimi piki win Osasuna etimi piki win yehwe La Liga the relegation battle na ho nso aye din ye pass see the Valladolid okọ relegation anu no Las Palmas nso ko relegation see the last fight about be between Leganés, Espanyol, Sevilla and Girona intimi enfa ni say meyi Sevilla mo frim yes because omo with a draw e mo ko intimi see about be gina Leganés ene your friend is saying Espanyol so Espanyol the next game obebo oni Las Palmas nebo e ono an relegation adamfo intini ni na be gina say na Las Palmas ene bebo na Leganés nso na ene Valladolid intino the match ni yesere ne say Leganés ni Valladolid ono ko relegation nebo na Sevilla nso ne Las Palmas ono nso akọ relegation da nebo inti kwan bia nso no hwan ne betimi atwe ne nyonko akọ relegation inti Spanish La Liga no the last games ebekọ so no top ni there o me decide every sport e decide from the Champions League to the Europa to the Conference League no e decide the only thing left now relegation between Las Palmas and Valladolid when e between either Leganés and Espanyol edina ko relegation and I think the last day of the La Liga and be kwa kojina the relegation battle
Espanyol ne one ebo
Espanyol ene Las Palmas and Valladolid and so ene Sevilla nebo into 2 ko relegation 2 no more 5
Sevilla dey omo ya out
debi omu gusu nemu meba mema o league table no se osha e dey be me say Espanyol ni like Leganés it say Leganés ene Valladolid ne bebo
okay
ena Espanyol ene Las Palmas ene bebo
omu tu ni nyina be
omu tu ni na we need dia meaning say Leganés be ko relegation
okay
ena say
Espanyol at home
ena say an with Las Palmas and Valladolid no omu mienu omu ko relegation de da intin when the betimi ayire ne ho atwen ba ko de na ko en na be man La Liga last race na aye de bie pa en na ohwe team e friend no Betis anye lokia between Valladolid and Celta de Vigo ba ko be ko Conference League na ba ko abo Europa inti omunzu last games no so be very crucial ho inti en na mema La Liga na aye den their last games I think the Serie A indra obi a no ohwe bia ho say yes the Serie A with Antonio Conte. I think the manager of the season, Antonio Conte Angelique knows or Gio, Yenfa manager of the season in Mano. Wama Serie A na a very competitive this season. He didn't himself Serie A, last 2 games, last 3 games, no be Angelique na ko da. But anyway, wama na a competitive. I think in draw. Quite be so
almost too average.
Almost
see.
But least to a quite be as we almost see Napoli. Napoli and last crucial penalty in the last minute.
But no more committed foul. They look at the
Sabon and your enemy name foul.
Simeone
nena kano but na me feel say do baby no mo omo ebia no mo so share that euphoria around the last games no because Syria am say ade na cheye pa ene the last games e be koso no ade say Napoli ye ne say o make sure say obe wini
because Galari is so stubborn.
Yes, obe make sure so be wini. This was a game oni Como so be ha Inter ye papa with the last game I think Fabregas person will me put his stamp with me aboa team no now o win you when win you 10 position in the better but ultimately make a name for himself say or can be na the league title near then it decided in Napoli any in their last games in Yama Beshi power Roma Claudio Ranieri or say after the end of the season you beja Roma or you name him to retirement ba so ba be bomb and they wait me aboa amometi nya that spot and then in their last game omo bebo last game Roma bebo against Torino ewa away nke home dia nka me ginema say Roma be wini but away na ya form ne tie we last game on Torino so timi wini na Juventus and so last game obebo against Venezia and so away Juventus ebo draw AS Roma beat me we are the Champions League spot mu team e friend Lazio na ye name so oni Inter game no identical no enjoy but no so nko wini in the game na no so we are the Champions League spot inti uko Italy a say a pressure na ba begina the last Champions League spot aka between Juventus AS Roma and the Lazio they be winning the last game na other ones need to me
or be drop a pointer which I see very unlikely because yes. last games things will be our easy games
Lazio
need Lecce easy
but so Lazio
the reason in say should be a Lecce da
so no so battle relegation
Lecce battle relegation now look at Empoli ni Verona
enable
what I say and you assume say Empoli bo home
and a Verona numpo no ogogo no na Empoli she na wanye loke ono so na so betimi aye because or 34
okay
ono so aso be she that game no so be tough game papa
wa be ja ho bia even Grand Venezia so kra to me escape you
yes
ko onya 32 na
obia to me escape
Lecce ni Empoli Lucia
she say the most happen team ono de kwan bia so no ontimi nya hwe apart from that no
Parma so to me ko and endro no bobo fun sa
you know we teams ni na Italy so relegation battle na ba begina say last game na dey win na dey pay baby gina na bomb price obi be lose and now mo Champions League sport no the last sport so aba very crucial like draw Juventus point omuti 2 goals omuti share na bo mo ye meaning say Roma a win against AC Milan and so do omewura that conversation ni ma Lazio etimi e ball draw kan Lazio so timi piki win dia nke boa team e friend no Napoli esa ambo omo ho but the last games ne ba begina bibia so a wa be win ade say Juventus here ne say ono de baby order no win a wa maintaining the sport but timi ko board roll so a e be ma Roma but I think ko hwa anka menya e pan de anka Claudio Ranieri enfa Roma rather Champions League sport ne bi obenya that motivation say on tina because wa ba be bo mu ye papa free time obe so team na team ni da 11th ene odi o mo wi asa conversation mu I think wa born home modern ye ne ade ba kwa ye hwe say top coaches ni betimi aye ama teams ni performance Galatasaray enso etimi je finally onu so etimi age sa Turkish league na I think Jose Mourinho mo competition but the bedu baby no ejigu ya ne omo hwe say the likes of Victor Osimhen any players ba ku mi no betimi maintaining wo mo team mu amanyama team akoye the most exciting league the EPL I think Nyama Timikoye Everton against Southampton the last game will be the same park Injai itimi 2 goals e bo man ono ba be the player wa the last goal e will be the same park ni move to a new stadium enkofo didi nkomo se ne Nyama akono omo last game against Newcastle no ya away no then on betimi aye nti ye hwe se Nyama betimi akono Nottingham Forest omo ni West Ham omo timi pick that victory itimi abo omo ni the Champions League race omo timi Jamie Vardy enso timi born homodin e share 200 goal e ma team e friend Leicester ene obo 500 games amom a share 200 goals ene wa ba be legend ama team e friend Leicester Arsenal enso etimi secure that Champions League spot ene omuni teams na aka ni nkomo bia abo ene wetimi maintaining the Champions League spot on 3 seasons in a row Arteta etimi the team no ewura Champions League I think why are there it do be nice now me see out on the Champions League no more Europe and Nyama so on 3 seasons with team the Omerium and then so, Newcastle
no what do Arsenal need say me season now no the mission accomplished
yes
they are done with the season likely say they will finish second even if they finish third no it doesn't
as at now the moment to finish third they will surely finish second because Obia
so Man City winning the 2 matches no.
But Man City winning it, yes. Man City winning the 2 matches.
That's Arsenal winning the last match. Man City are overtaking.
Okay, but Arsenal the last match was on Southampton.
So I don't think normal will drop a point.
Okay. It is also the Premier League says aka 3 spots available for Champions League and Europa sport needed that but my minimum be ampe but aka 3 spots Europa sport so at this time with Crystal Palace Oliver Glasner adi odi year Manchester City no nti Crystal Palace said that 12th position but next season no be Europa my you in Oliver Glasner coach we are Europa competition in that nti ene wait me in that competition ya de ba ko a ebetimi abo Crystal Palace now at the end of the match Obeka say Okache Pep Guardiola said time was sharing 5 no so did the same lineup bar obe punishing year and wait me a punishing or wait me age their first ever trophy for Crystal Palace amomene so o share trophies ni senya kika kwa na list wo I see teams o man Messi trophy ache yie pa na omojiji trophies inti no hwa Bologna over 60 years on J trophy obeje Newcastle over 70 years on J trophy onu so beje against Liverpool and Crystal Palace onu so J trophy da onu so ababeje and you share I think team being so J trophies are onu so over 50 years on J trophy inti ehwe the likes of Tottenham onu so trophy drought for over years ni and onu so betimi age Chelsea o share between Chelsea and Robert's I think Chelsea are more trophy droughts in Robert's inti kwan bia so say Chelsea to be so onu so betimi age na Paris Saint-Germain onu so ni Inter Milan onu so be so onu so betimi age but the EPL race no aba be den ene ye cheche mu yi a ye cheche mu yi in the last game no e be very crucial ama team bia Chelsea on Nottingham Forest and Ebo Newcastle and so any Everton and Aston Villa any Man United see a great games ni mu yi a Newcastle ni Everton game Everton ni hwi obelusu or for 45 points or the 13th olusu game ni kwa onko bebia nti enu nti no eye away game ema Everton obi ebisa se kwan ben so na Everton ebetimi a savage this result. I think the motivation for Everton to win or Everton to make sure say they perform so well against team my friend or Newcastle any soro or no Goodison Park last game no aboewie last game or the chain Newcastle and fan channel and fan ho so be a say the percentage of Newcastle qualifying for the Champions League no was true especially with a goal difference a goal difference of 22 ya de ba ko ebo mu yie pa in the Champions League race inti ene ye hwa the next team Chelsea on Nottingham Forest with the City ground a very crucial game for Chelsea any team a friend in Nottingham Forest
with Everton there no
yes
you don't want to let them know this
why Everton
yes you know how Premier League works. It's like yes scripted. So let this happen, let that happen
to bring the excitement.
So mind you realize that Everton can be the center of all the conversation. And you know these teams they like, love Fulham. That's why everybody is quiet. Me, you see how I had the feeling that Newcastle will drop point against Brighton. Nottingham Forest will not beat Leicester. Those who had those feelings said they were not going to be. Yes, because there are teams they to me they can turn up and behave anyway. Even Endra West Ham game, no, the coach and a course West Ham team, and the VAR also because it was an offside. Player na offside no, or prevent it. West Ham player from what attacking the ball, but I almost say it was not enough. As a baby, I know not on you, but who knows? Bianco bet me the one pim the all headed ball now. I can own your power no man, but almost the mom. Time or the attackers and banner. So Premier League is such that teams, they can do anything at any point in time. And Everton team say may call good may call
St.
James Park. And when it happens like this, Ubeti, the kind of a new moto, a kutia new moto near the idea. Then you now get it to players no. Let's go out there, prevent these people from at least all the other qualifier cry now. Let's try and prevent them. And everything you team me make to be the necessity of Mubo say they can do that. They can defend well. Goalkeeper no can keep the post so well, and they can also score the quarry. What I say, the Premier League can be. I mean, I know, sir. The final, you know how we are seeing it. Way simple, way simple. Even Bournemouth, Man City.
Tough game.
Bournemouth, Man City. And then the last game against Fulham. Teams number transition game football. No, I am in Pekra.
Yes. So here Chelsea, the only Nottingham Forest. I think Chelsea fit there. Only Nottingham Forest. Only no fit show me same. The only thing is say team win and win comfortably. And I think this will be one game. On paper, it will play in the hands of Enzo Maresca. I didn't make us and said Nottingham Forest. They can't draw this game. Into no Kwambia says winning. Into they will be more attacking minded compared to Senior this season. On my boss now. On bear imagine say if there should be a first goal in the game, I say to me back free or more. And no and a bear boy Enzo Maresca and his boys so made me hit you on counters. And they key man in defense. Merilo Epra. To Kwambia so say game no ebi on timimbo. Chelsea so said the likes of Christopher Nkunku and Magui betimi aba with Nicolas Jackson available. The last time at Chelsea ever still Nottingham Forest was City Park. Premier League say and decide that Chelsea we need 3-2 and players almost share a goal. No, the funny thing is as at this game almost 3-9 member. That is Nicolas Jackson, Raheem Sterling, and Mudryk. Almost 3-9 available at Chelsea. Enzo Maresca to me come up with a new plan to be able to defeat this Nottingham Forest team and qualify the team for the Champions League.
Aside set pieces, you know. I think they are only almost 20 set pieces.
Yes. And now we share in draw share Nottingham Forest game against West Ham. No. Send our boss, you know. Senka coach friend Graham Potter and maintenance here going into a game. Position out that unko allegation unko here. No, why a defensive setup to the extent say, two quality attacking players when they're pitching so against a team like Nottingham Forest, I need to here point to be attacking more. And Ushendra and the lineup name Yama Oja game name Nottingham Forest in some way. I need about Kusha Aston Villa on Man United. Nina Bijina Man United performance on better than in the Europa League about because it's Man United didn't mean we need Europa competition now. Pressure Edam more in 2 years and the last home game. Omutimi winning so Aston Villa a team be in 4 games Omuni United abo Omutimi share United there. Aston Villa best 0-0 draw munyai. So it will be one crucial game. I think the last game of the EPL a very crucial and exciting. That top 5 race, the last 3 spot will be very exciting for every team, including Manchester City. And also a be fighting for a spot. Ni na be on the Bournemouth game. So to me we need Bournemouth game now. Unya upper hand ahead of the rest. Said the last game against Fulham, unya a draw crana or qualify. Apart from that, so to me pick a lose or a draw. Na sube shiye pa Manchester City or man lucky next season they wouldn't find themselves in the Champions League. I think it will be one of the most worrying thing for Man City fans and Abibi. But the EPL the title race air con Liverpool just now qualify. The top scorer race Mohamed Salah 28 and Isaac 23. And Haaland 21. So as of now, Mohamed Salah so etimaji the golden boot. The only thing about say this is Isaac. And Isaac timisha 6 goals in the last game on Bebo against Everton, which and Salah etimaji the golden boot. I think a bit me abuan in the Ballon d'Or conversation. So bit me room I want in this weekend. The Nyame course no baby kwa PSV and so to me the 1 point. Ayas. A bottle leg in the year and a PSV 8 million 1 point.
And interestingly, teams some boy drop a point in ya team or turning their flesh and almost sure or share no too.
I think it was a bad way in dry share emotions from their manager no Sumponi because they were leading the league by 9 points. Naka 5 games. And no be in to the league in a way. And they were able to bottle it, I think. PSV and they didn't also lose hope. They were fighting for the way I need.
Almost started season year.
And almost
baby.
Almost they do baby not Champions League and also play a big role and unto can be. And senior league race now I think we Spain about a general relegation battle so and almost top 5 race so the last spot Italy championship near still available and the last game will be a bit me winning. Almost that Champions League spot, one spot now can go for pre-hun year. Power Germany there, everything is set la league na konewie. France and so league na is set la bibia konewie. England ababijina the last game for the 3 spots are available for the title race. By weekend we be who teams in the Champions League. I think next week Monday you better discuss on adding teams in any teams be performance and winning no to me in the Champions League spot.
All right. That is so. You should transfers no. You transfers now. Jokeres news about Ryan Cheek, Froven Vit,
yeah.
Abranti a friend Oko a year.
Tijani
Rendes and Milos Kekis.
Yeah.
And we are. I think we are in the medical. It's almost with Jeremy Frimpong. Yeah.
Yes, I think with transfers in there, Akuya my teams ni be who Real Madrid getting Dean Huijsen and a Real Madrid player. Which player in the career he has performed so well from Malaga to what they call Juventus to AS Roma, Bournemouth to now Real Madrid. He was destined to get to a bigger club and they with mirror the Real Madrid move. With the 50 million or more, I said 3 windows, they'll be able to get the money paid and they were better than the Real Madrid player. So with Milo Kokesa is one player Bournemouth who are performing year pan this season. The attacking phase, the defensive, or a very solid on the ball. Oh no, so Etimia Bonhuma DNA. The who's at Liverpool, some bit me in signature. The likes of Real Madrid and so but I think as of now, Benfica or Boybi. Real Madrid they need a change. I think Keke is the quite be so no obey me Real Liverpool and more said now Liverpool would have 2 new fullbacks starting next season. Performance they beat me a koye and slot Frimpong one crucial player. I think their game against Liverpool at Anfield no and I heard this scout boy in the year and the performance on that night was very good. And they were better than the Liverpool player with his replacement for Alexander Arnold there. About a lot of questions. Can he fit into that role and play better than Alexander Arnold, or can he be that player? All my Liverpool fans named Kyle Alexander-Arnold is something Obiashe Conor Bradley or no so I renew the contract and he still will maintaining that spot. I think say he was one player he was looking out say in Liverpool inclusion be sending and kada right back spot no bet me occupy so and Frimpong etimia babe kan you were Arsenal and they almost qualify for the Champions League. And we've had a lot of conversations with Goykres, Sebi Obejoinium, and now Sesesco. Dan Beckham has said there've been a lot of conversation between the new sporting director and Arteta on which striker would fit into this Arsenal setup. And Arteta has nothing to play about, especially in the 7th season at Arsenal. I didn't make us say so when you're the right man to head the team by December, not Arsenal in that first and on that second with a small point margin, fans the bear margin so
yeah.
Because we've seen managers come into a new season at least they are doing well, but with 6 seasons not still the same problem. Arsenal fan being him say the striking position is problem. They've gone into this phase until now. Then you don't get the right striker picker. Then striker now be quite but when man perform me then your sack letter would be given to you. And almost here between Jokeres and also Sesko. Between these two, one will surely be an Arsenal player at the start of next season. Ubisami, I think we have Arsenal profile here. Jokeres is more experienced and would fit into the team. No, the goals be braba.
Do they play transitional football? Because you know say Jokeres transitional football na yes. Strength. Do Arsenal play transitional football?
Arsenal MXC type their type of play. There are games that they go with transition. There are games that they go with the no possessional type of game. I think Jokeres is the type of style. No, Ubisami. Arsenal team need more of a team. They say they thrive on set pieces, so they need a player who is a bit good in the air to make sure some set piece tricks. Yes. Man, obey me a benefit. Jokeres he's that good in the air. He's not
very poor.
He's very poor, especially with duels in the air. It will go against their game. I think Arteta is pushing for Sesko, no? Because Sesko is very good in the air.
Yeah, because you see, maybe the reason why I can't have it. To me, I yes, I embodiment of the team, and I think that the injury, so at the time, nearby, it
affects you.
A crucial part. Though they will need a striker, but if the striker come in and doesn't do a job like what Kai Havertz is doing, or maybe bench the Kai Havertz.
Yes,
because Kai Havertz is very good aerially, and or a dominant. Use Calvert or a dominant. But the point is that the first only out and out striker and sometimes you will Bobby or striker was said, oh, Victor Osimhen must say all the time they were around, more around trying to nick in something near the idea. I think it will take time for it to come adapt, to Sadia. I think you improve gradually because it's easy, instinct, so it will take time. So they will need somebody who can come and hit the ground running. Or se nipa ne banners afi na oba be adjust here. I bet this will be to have it.
And as you say, as Arsenal fans, no, they don't need a player be adjusted. No, they are looking for a killer. Bit me about mom sa goals no. So if you between two, if you Arsenal setup no, any Chelsea setup now, there's something similar.
Yes.
Omu here player obeba be you need somebody who would come in and hit the ground running. Into these two teams transfers this season will be very important, especially in the striking role.
Yeah.
They need to get somebody who would come in and perfect that. But to me, who be some between these two I think Sesko would fit Arsenal so well with the aerial duels, and that strength in the box, never bomb. But how would he adapt to the Premier League? That is a big question. The second thing is who German Bundesliga strikers coming into the Premier League in Yamanfa, the likes of Timo Werner, the likes of your friend is saying we in Kunkumu, when they come.
But as a woman, different.
No, but
Bundesliga, I'm assuming to my Bobi and by the family.
Yes,
Konate, Ebo.
That striking rule, no.
Haaland by.
Yes, okay. Haaland by a farmer and a new point.
The recent Chelsea the norm cover, and you see, we need to put things in proper context. Obi to say Timo Werner.
No, you're out and out striker.
Only out and out striker. But because of the pace in T, and I know, and a Bundesliga, and because of space, a woman in T. And then again, we didn't look at the time, no, not Chelsea weren't buying players based on data and analysis. Okay, or form, what she saying, 40 goals, and a monk of Fanemra. There were fundamental issues with Timo Werner. And I clear in terms of even finishing no issues but we didn't pay attention to sir at the end. Then Obi to say in Google, it was clear that he was bound to succeed, but for injuries.
And then Kunkumpo, he wasn't bought as a striker.
Now
like a 10.
A 10, and now about two competition in now injuries went to me. I'm one.
But once say with Sesko no. On so much any games or a player be recently na me share clips back home bi or a player be those easy chances as or convert no be say no
and difficult ones
no
but difficult ones no so na teams ni pe obi oba be sha mo
but on say me share ni clips be 1v1 against a keeper out of 10 or be say mu 7.
But Mevan says Arsenal will be obesha 1v1 as a komu because creating 1v1 chances and yet easy with Premier League. Premier League in the chances are they tell upon everything. The numbers Estelle Barky Jackson and they say Chelsea create a lot of chances and or Shebebre or to me Shebebre. But there are certain chances so and only difficult. I always expect to say Obeden, Obeshe, game no is so close. You just need a striker to against Everton. Say, oh, Victor Osimhen, oh, be to say, Sesko Obeshe because our angle no, or no Obeshe boss no, against Brentford. Sa cross here, Sancho there or on the left, but to Victor Osimhen, Sesko, the way because kick ye, Obeden. Ball ashes because a difficult ball to score and none of teams in here.
Okay. Yes, but Sesko, I think Sesko is a very good player. And
maybe or a raw or more room to improve. Yes. Yeah.
Compared to Gyökeres, I think at the age of 26, goals now and they say and this season was 39 goals. I'm a Sporting Lisbon. I think the Arsenal be depending on are they going for an experienced player. a person who can kill off games for them, or they are going for a young player, he will grow with the team. I bet you baby no, he'll be able to fit in. They say Arteta in Naswan he needs to get the striking role right. Adia Bemas now fancy food say apart from these two players, they will go for another striker. Maybe he wouldn't fit into the team well about a problem. Intino, they are looking out for so betting to do nyama ye anya a good striker in place a bit me aboa. I'm a team in sweet imagine. So share the likes of Liverpool. Who's a Florian Wirtz more are coming into the conversations. Javi Simons are coming into the conversations. Adeba Akone say and slot next season or build it on one team. Based on or a coach be watching the games are from PSV up a more technical gifted players or more they can pick the game and make change to them. And until anyone who's a call for Frimpong, the likes of Javi Simons and Florian Wirtz, these are players they can come in that 10 role and make changes, take the game by storm and make sure say they give them results. Now with me a lot of pressure if you the likes of Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo say how can they do their transfers well? They are not under pressure to do much.
Would they need a winger?
As of now, I think say no, they don't need a winger. Liverpool, the position on here.
Okay, Liverpool.
Yes.
I think Arsenal.
No, Arsenal. Yes, Arsenal would need a winger. Surely, Arsenal needs a left winger.
No, Zubimendi.
I think Zubimendi would be like a Jorginho replacement.
Okay.
Zubimendi need Thomas Partey would be fighting for that role.
Okay. Then I think the defense they are sorted. Even
yes, they are sorted.
what Kiwo they have the Japanese international to also return. Martin Skelly. So I think the defense and the goalkeeping they are sorted.
But goalkeeping, there were rumors that they were looking at Espanyol goalkeeper. Your friend is saying with Garcia.
Espanyol goalkeeper no very
yes, he
good.
being a backup goalkeeper. But Matisse say
but that goalkeeper no ne talent they cry no be backup.
Say Arsenal say you mupe competition for Raya. But Matisse as of now, say team B obeko team B be Aston Villa because of Martinez and against Opesoko.
Okay, so Arsenal they are done mu defense ne mu goalkeeping. At least obi back cry no me to Raya. Midfield so you sorted. Now when you ho no no. Now
Waneri would be remember say a debut a backup to play a friend or Saka. It meaning say now the left side no and a big problem because of Trossard and Martinelli. They've not been able to put in good performance to be able to settle that particular position. And until they are looking at the likes of Rodrigo, so me now
Rodrigo they better how they are Chelsea best sign.
Yes, between Rodrigo
Chelsea
and but as now from rumors they say they have 100 million to buy players including sell-ons. And now 100 no may you move 50 akwa your friend is saying Zubimendi
Chaka 50. So now they need a striker.
They need a striker and they need a left winger. And as of now I don't think that Arsenal can
sell one
out of 100 million in selling players.
Are they broke?
No, they are not broke as a
500
club.
they sell of them. It's what?
But on the club, they are setting a target on player transfers. I think in the EPL, teams you don't see them setting target on player transfers. Chelsea, Manchester City, they don't set target.
But I still think, sir, what Arsenal needs. They need quality.
Yes.
Because now if you are bringing a winger, a left winger, now says a left winger, no, all man may improve. Abrante friend no the Brazilian Martinelli then anyone go to anke what I say no mo be fast Sterling antumi anko akoye bibia now they will need somebody obabe or upgrade because now it is obvious that our players we no you couldn't get to the line even though teams are now money more competing Liverpool from nowhere be now I also say Chelsea will be coming. And Chelsea this season the first half is showing signs say it's a BBI now you say koye their mama they can be dangerous. And Chelsea history of winning the Premier League title. They know how to go about it. Now it is clear that they need a striker and they will need a goalkeeper and also
right winger.
So if some players will move in back, I won't say na nyama start say functional. You never know they can come in there. Now Man City will be back. What I say? It's we Arsenal wono Ateta will pressure that also say next season you need to win the title at all costs. Now Liverpool the order that. I think Anslot so be making sure that the ideas all be tweak the system even more to suit the ideas. Was started year signings already. What you say? Now so if we are Arsenal, now say what the 100 million per America only say what signing made for that back or no cost 50. Now strikers now more window ni mu ni no.
The least cry 60.
The least cry 60. Now winger now also open na Rodrigo no mbobo ndi no. Obe da kwa fa ne de naba because okay I can understand you too. Because sika omo de kofa ka have it. Want to me am service our striking problem na no mo sa coffee the same amount for another striker and so
we share on previous transfers they've spent money on players later than any problem. The likes of Nicolas Pepe almost 80 million.
Yeah.
They stretch him on. It could do to the extent the time Arsenal to the last money we and then Nicolas Pepe not on board my Arsenal by almost 2 seasons. So and last season almost call all out for Declan Rice. In TNA, if they are to go all out for some players a bit me at home. And Untina, their fans are looking at either if they are going for Sesko, meaning that they can now make room for maybe a Rodrigo or any other player. So I'm for Sesko. Right now with Leipzig not out of the Champions League, they would need to sell.
Yeah.
So they can go for a Sesko and now enter the race for Rodrigo. But Osha, the rumors have been without Rodrigo or Nico Williams. These are two players.
Two players you know. I just said you must can almost be count.
In almost selling out players.
Until one on beton
Trossard, Ebeko. Trossard don't bear margins on beton.
No, hold on,
Trossard don't bet me and be almost 30, 40 film.
30, 40. One ever.
Open your clubs na to.
I just say England ho.
Trossard.
England ho.
Oh, England ho dey mean
England ho dey obenyo obi. England dey make to make e be West Ham dey to me.
West Ham will not pay 30 million for Leandro Trossard. If Trossard now, Trossard no kwamba Arsenal say free saying.
Yeah, well for free.
From Brighton, ne Trossard na ko Brighton ne dia.
And can we the performance was Arsenal.
But Premier League, the reason why Premier League wait to many 30 then is
because experience.
Brentford for instance, wait to Maton.
Brentford will not buy Trossard 30 million. Now we some money Brentford
teams are on top players. Brentford.
Okay, me say Brentford so oba beton. Mbuemu.
On touch Trossard. You see, some West Ham teams now can say
West Ham so obi omoton.
Says can they pay that money for player bia La Liga or ebia Eredivisie bia or that potential Mohamed Kudus go say am do far.
But as at now
no mo fa 30 million for
now teams don't beat me at all. Say now boy West Ham beat me at all.
But on just 30 million.
No say West Ham to almost 40 million for we are friends saying last season
for why
Otto we are friends saying 4 coup.
Now 4 coup goes but Trossard is not even how many goals now
age wise
Trossard is not performing.
Otua almost 30 million for a friend is saying Rodriguez.
So if Senka Trossard actually 20 goals, 10 assists for Arsenal, no doubt. But he's not performing.
I think say team no any availability of that particular position. West Ham as at now.
West Ham will not
pay player.
West Ham will not pay.
And nothing they do baby na Mohamed Kudus be ball.
Yeah.
Only left wing
or be by we pra
Somerville.
That's something you won't pay 30 million. To Leandro Trossard, only big crumble or a friend is
Arsenal.
Arsenal so a bon number of matches.
Oh, but listen, the thing is, how many goals?
Trossard as a player,
and even check his age.
Trossard as a player, Utimi bought 3 different positions, man.
Now
the availability.
McAllister, send a Liverpool for Tony, man.
But I think they can get.
They can get
20
million. They will get, but 30 million, 35.
What to say, sir? Your friend is saying, Nuno said Tavares who said then Nicolo was Spain. Almost on back cash out.
Left back
Leon. Yes, Leon.
Sorry, Lazio.
Back cash out. Or more other players be on beat me a cash out.
Maintenant Laos no Lazio. Leon.
Bonu Amaton
no
code. More players be they can get at least up to 50 million if you're more. So I think between Sesko and Guerrero, they need to make a right decision and make it work. Because at 30 January, Arsenal fans they be they say empowerment because they feel say Oliver Glasner mo create me about the GFA Cup. Then you can't ride on that FA Cup hype say I've built a team, I've built a team. Near it now they will look for a killer manager obabe finish it. Idea I say ultimate finish, I want me finish. So
okay.
Arsenal transfers no home be yes so to me making sure say or the right materials are being say next season performance will be to me akọ.
Okay, in the coming days, we will the fat teams in enough more transfers. Near diagnosing the kama na fi bibia so na tumi akoye. I think that time is almost up. So yen share a year Ghana Premier League any under 20. Morocco and to me anje. Now I thought sen come to me South Africa for to me AJ the ultimate. South Africa ne omo to me youth make I under 20 the last time yeah boy under 20 2009 okay I say omo finish third best place team yeah no omo boy omo dey can share first goal say then and yet share omo yeah and necessary omo to me edge a youth a way and obviously that team will obviously join the South African national team the Bafana boys on Bebu Amanyama de akoye yen share a year na game in Liverpool any kofo yeso makoye party de ama ye nyina anebo umebo.
Yes, me starting from under 20 name fam.
Okay.
In under 20 with South Africa performance o madani. I think South Africa a nation be anyame nim nukreni. About infrastructures, about development, about secure edishe football, about send nya time of footballer. Omuye nyina but talent no. Recently na me hwe super disky I had to say me man say be a youth football nka Ghana akotoko youth and has youth enye adeketwa investment akom any the way presentation in Yamate obedwin say maybe top flight football be by just youth football college football me invest here but talent no anywhere. So I think for the past 4 or 5 years they were looking out till meet me use youth football no a pushy or more talent, especially with players a bit me about into the national team any under 20 and so make me a more because you are seeing my consistency and investment and amount to me do level so to me doing yeah say with this performance on bet me almost so there say cause grooming players you the likes of way McCarthy motive me do the highest level grooming players and making them reach the highest level bet me a send our boss we will see some of their players getting into that particular sport anyone said the next 2-3 years they can go on and maybe fight for a bigger trophy like the AFCON or any other competitions. We share the Ghana Premier League. Enyama timi eko ye pan ewo. And they be any Gold Stars 56 points. Watching league num Kotoko. And nam fourth 54 points. And they say Nations FC timi nya winner. Obi timi akwa kwada first. Into we league title ni there. Still a race no ewum emu ayede. I say EPL na emu ayede there. We share results of course wa Kotoko. A 4-1 win has into win here. Karela Muna Peke victory. Samatex, I think this season, a bit disappointing. Amami Yepa with performance or more than the last season. No be him say this is no beat me about more than 80 me remain. Or mean to me anya man who here. I know or that 7th position. Yebeshe so moons beat me about more than 80 me. I say or beat me in a good spot on the league log. But so Liverpool any Brighton game about course we're now. And I think the last game of the season, Liverpool ni Crystal Palace, how much in the day? A best 3 years because Obi Abeko trophy parade and some of our boss how much no. Internam kwan bia so no. How much in Bene Brighton EPL the 8 spots still are available for Conference League. Depending on the Chelsea to me we need Conference League no. Na owura the Champions League meaning says our spots ni available. Into between Brentford, Brighton, Fulham. Baako eso timi wem ti na match
and next season they say obi abebo Europe
and England bet me the 8 teams near Europe 8 in the bet mirror Europe and now the Crystal Palace moons wait me the only thing they say NA sa top 5 race no wa anya lucky obe miss out no obe miss out akwa kobo Conference League into the between Aston Villa, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle. What went to me in the Europa sport no be kwa Conference League straight because one Europa sport now available no Crystal Palace afa ntinka 2 sports na aka nti any one pen are available Into the Conference League spot are available for 8 spots. Into the Brighton or Bernard Dreams will be going into the game to make sure say they can pick a win against Liverpool or Machilia and they maintain this as a match in the Behim. So it will be a good game for your friends and Brighton. They need to win. I think this season performance more than they did at the middle members from January or no more than year. But minimum the form the drop here after that crucial win against Chelsea in the FA Cup, any league, they were performing so well in Nyama article. But they will need this win against Liverpool to enter that race to make sure that their last games are Fulham, Oni City, and yet senior a boss, and yet easy game Man City because the Fulham person will run the Conference League spotter. And so to me against City, the likes of Brighton and the Brentford Moon now say they can get into any match, a good game for Brighton. So say Liverpool actually they don't need anything, they have nothing to fight for. No, they need to pick that 3 points against team, my friend Liverpool.
Okay.
Yeah, Listo. I think that South Africa South Africa is a country, especially if Somobo an African Championship no multimedia, we shouldn't be surprised. And there is one thing I'll say, if the senior national team is doing well, it reflects it. Most of the times, I reflect what the junior team. See, over Kaya, you how Mukwinamo, any a year South Africa performing in the 2023 African Coast or Ivory Coast, and in terms of infrastructure, in terms of money, sponsorship, and everything, they are there. But one thing is that Ochake the Premiership, South Africa now. A lot of African, players from other countries, a dominated league. You know, they also have most of their players. Then was the days na Chabalala money or best players are more the South African league. In fact, once you get the South African national team, most of the players playing for the Bafana team, players are aboard the South African Premier League. But I think that they deserve it. It should be a turning point for them. And I think that Morocco, Ghana, Senegal, Egypt, and all these teams, they have to put in their minds that whether you are a football nation, still you have to develop, because right now football now about being business, and a lot of people are learning the business. Until the moment, even if you have the infrastructure, Ghana, how many infrastructure doesn't have? So about the youth championship, you're just in country be so it tells you how determined the youngsters in here. And one thing we Ghanaians we've not been able to do in recent times, how you integrate your youth players to your national team list. Apart from Andrew Ayew time, in fact, that Andrew Ayew team, we Daniel Ajay, the goalkeeper. That's one she didn't the Black Stars.
Yes.
Oba Afcon Kawanda Black Stars. He was on our bench. But we Ransford Andrew Ayew time. The only players who Jonathan Mensah, Samuel Inkum, Ajimambedu, any Andrew Ayew, then maybe you bet him the I think that if I say once for no say, but no one should that perfect stint. And it's about Richmond Boachi adopting Eric French more time, and now Eddie Boremo, Richard Ofori, Eddie Boremo, and now Joseph Atamalawe, Eddie Boremo, Sansona, Richmond Boachi Adam, Omina Eddie Boremo. Listo. One thing is the South Africans have to make good use. They have to integrate these boys very well into the national team. I know that they've won this and they need some more complete sense in the bomb. If they are able to do that, they can also win a lot of championships. Listo. Ghana League the more heading.
Okay.
I'm sure na kotoko maintaining Karim Zito. Because
why should there be even a discussion about him?
But you see,
I don't get it.
Reporter Mathieu said they wanted to appoint Masokuno. The woman Masokuno didn't come on. But some of the Kotoko paying for national management in the morning, they love Karim Zito because the ball no bono. A typical winning mentality game no bono. And they believe that him as a technical director, and they will appoint somebody for that technical director role. Then the Omoma Zito engagement. They believe that if Omoko Africa, there is no other coach in Ghana here currently. Obeti no kotoko list of her body dreams FC drew here. Maybe all the dreams FC you. It drew here or CAF Confederation. So they believe that if they're able to win the FA Cup, that's a Zito and a Moko Africa, they can do something. But if Zito and Twaso I don't think Zezito will be the technical director. The Masokrodu will be the head coach. It won't work. Analyst to the mechanic say,
ah, me tell say,
Juma. Advice Ben Zito to the Mama Sokradi or Pobefa and Masokradu. These are all players. They are legends of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Whenever drift people Muntema, the management, some of the players ever pick a side. So to me, I think that they are doing very well. In fact, or by the number of games Oma Kotoko Abon Ucheke Kotoko last 4 games or by Oma win 3 Abo draw 1. They won against Adriana or many house of folk. In fact, or by games of Abogina crucial games and Maka say if Sir Chelsea for no, that is England Chelsea. Say Omanya striker be among measures to meet my for Kwampoku by because Akwane clinical. Maybe chances are Jackson said no Kwampoku beat my Chelsea. So when you see me money
I say me who is on your fit.
Kwampoku I say could not Osha born in
the movement
because me Kwampoku minim
or you quick.
Can say on your basabasa. I don't know. Maybe I'm person be I don't know. I don't want to say. Say make be na Kotoko Faza can say be Ochuchino, but he's been scoring for them.
Or she go by me who is say the fitness
form. It could be. Okay. But then I think that Lord is it Abetamoa?
Yeah.
Or mommy no part list to all. Me man that say omutu top a bit me afasa. And Abetamoa sha na Kwampoku if Kotoko qualify it means the FA Cup. And even if Listo omutimi a close up gap in the Premier League. No more Africa. They should try and maintain these boys. Now money man can't say me say Samuel Tesfa Ashokium Listo. In the Ghana Premier League, if you want to win the league, Medican can have several times. If you want to win the Ghana League, make sure so home games, obey me renew home games. Don't drop points. And it was something that Samuel Tesfa so well last season. Before I ever started season way. Now in over 2 years, over 30 games on my ball, Summer Boy ho. No more lose just 2 games and only 2 teams pay. And a team called Summer Boy share Summer Tex. That was a baby any Nations FC. Apart from these teams, now I ever started season way. No BN team shown bad and they've lost couple number of games at home. More lose a lot of games at home. And in fact, last season on League, Omuko aware they make sure say at least a point on my picket. The only lost at venues are never very difficult. So to me, I think that Summer Tex this season, Omulusu Keke, at least all. Sawuji League now person about Champions League. This season, they play some players like FC Mo, any Isaac Afo. Any some of goalkeeper any defender you free has to focus on your mui. Oh, me defender be free has to focus. I think he was a right back.
No, left back.
No, he left back.
Okay. Or your center back.
No, has to focus. No, a right back.
Oh, or slim.
Yeah.
Flowers
nearby.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, me as a Nidina. And apart from all these players, list all J2Yamo, these players started the league on a very high note, but FC they've not been scoring. And if over 5 key players, now say Mutrebe fruit in Ako Tanzania, Ako Rwanda, if you call Skayakama free team, that's one to me. The replacement are the Bema team, no man better replacement. List all I did about affect and I think that baby any Gold Stars they are doing so well. They are winning their home games, and it was quite unfortunate. Say, I'm not going to Karela Bishop. In fact, Karela is here point. No, 2 games of Mulusu 2 against Vision FC Karela winning teams are no more here point. No, but I think that with the league list all, baby Edruno, Obiabet Miyaji. Same as the relegation. In fact, relegation, maybe Karela, any Vision FC, they might be very okay as at this moment because of the number of games. Because list to check Vision games. Come last 3 games and Comebo younger, normal young apostles. Comebo home to I think it's Watreman, normal ball Kotoko. Then now come as next game another home game. Come last 3 games home no more home. But one thing listo Ebeboa the teams of more pre league in and say at this moment okay. Right now, yes, Vish Bebo Karela and Karela so pre relegation. In fact, if you want to avoid relegation, these are the number of games also winning. But it's least to who check it teams of Mupe League in Nigeria. Baby 56 points, Nations 54, Heart of Lions 54, LNA Krobia Kumasa Sante Kotoko 54. Nations FC. Omunyambo mu game in hand no. If they play, yes, if they're able to win that game, it means that they will go on top of the league. And remember, 5 game matches. Nations FC list to last season. Omune team and I'm for some Comedy League. No, they top the league table. Die best. And at the end, no, and as someone text the woman. This season, all these 4 clubs, Nations, BBN Gold Stars, Heart of Lions, New Krobia Kumasa, Sante Kotoko, all these clubs will be able to marry in the league. You know. It means that the 3 games, I can't be 3 games, I could be 4 games, I could be 2 games. I can't games now. I can't now games are very crucial. Who drop people? Say if there be any drop points. Now say if nations share, nations ever be that top. If baby any drop point, now Kotoko share, it means Kotoko ever be taking the lead. Same applies to a more relegation zone. Yami aduma ochna. Say ba, me time I share. In fact, Legon cities occur. Accra Lions have 35 points as at this point. With 9 points to grab, list to that 9 points not Obabe grabbing. No. He will play House of Folk. He will play Baby Any Gold Stars at Upper League. And in fact, Baby Any no all away. So in fact, in the last 3 games now, Baby Any no. If it's not possible for them, they have 6 points to grab. And if they're able to grab that 6 points, it means that still almost team catch up. Vision games say Vision ebo enya it's me ereni against Karela. Now the last game ewo tema osanso lusu to Kotokwa. Now say Accra Lions in the last 3 games or we need 2 no lusu ba kwa. It means that only Vision ebenya same or falling short with 1 point below a Vision FC. So I think that list to a very very difficult. Who check it teams are there Ama League na then say at this moment. Ochina many time we real side.
Okay, ochina
but I think that
Kotoko atu me den ho aba be she.
Yeah,
now so kwa we no to me kwhye Gold Stars.
Yeah, aye hu ni say omo Open League na age no. E no won avoid relegation. The last 3 or 4 games on be sheshe omo ho.
Okay. Nti ho no bi antumi enko match of convenience. Okay. Right, yen share na us no na fe. Yen sorry so na. Yeah, okay. Me wo ba ko ase me mo boss ma am for na. Okay, oko Liverpool and Brighton home goal. Liverpool and Brighton home goal. Hapoel Beersheva and Beta Jerusalem over 1.5. Maccabi Haifa and Maccabi Tel Aviv win either half. Rapid Bucharest and CFR Cluj win or draw. Slavia Sofia and Lokomotiv Plovdiv over 1.5. FBOK and Jagaden handicap 2. IK Sirius and IFK Nokopin over 1.5. Bromby and Magellan away go. Mindby Mindby and Proma Pokana Mindby home win or draw. And Rega FC and FK Lepaija Rega FC home win. Talena Calef and JK Nava Trans away win or draw. More Estonia, that team more Estonia and Riga FC no year Latvia team and I'll call no way matches no Mindby Macau home win or draw. Siri and Nokopim over 1.5 and FBOK and Jagaden handicap 2 ana CFR Cluj wo Roma CFR Cluj ewo Romania ana Israel ewe nyame adoma ochra ye besa ba na de akachi na ye de